Welcome back to Dice and Anarchy. Today we're going to give you a deck tech on how Lu Bu is built right now. And I think Lu Bu is the funnest deck that I have, or at least I have the most fun playing Lu Bu. It's a glass cannon, but it can be very effective. There are 28 basic lands. There are 4 snow-covered mountains. And there are 4 non-basic lands. The 4 non-basic lands are Reliquary Tower, Inkmoth Nexus, Valakut Molten Pinnacle, and Great Furnace. Moving on to the instants, we have Lightning Bolt, which a friend of mine altered the artwork on, Overblaze, which does have Splice onto Arcane on it, but unfortunately we don't have any other arcane spells in the deck to splice it with. Chaos Warp, good little bit of removal. Molten Influence, it's a red counter spell. They can choose for the spell to be countered or to take 4 damage. I've actually won with the person not being able to take the 4 damage. That was bad, you should cut that out. Raise the Effigy. It's instant speed, destroy target artifact or target attacking creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, but it's a 1-drop. A little bit better than Shock there. And lastly, we have Seething Song, 3 red mana, and you get 5 red mana to your mana pool. Sorceries come next, and for sorceries we have Kari Zev's Expertise. Allows you to steal somebody's creature and attack them with it until end of turn, and you get to cast a card for free from your hand. Converted mana cost 2 or less. Insult to Injury. Damage can't be prevented, and it can doubles damage as well. Seize the Day. Flashback card. Gives an extra combat. Yockelhops. Everybody's favorite card. Destroys all artifacts, creatures, and lands. Wheel of Misfortune. Get some cards back in your hand at some price, but this deck tends to run out of cards pretty quick in hand. Overmaster is a 1-drop that says the next instant or sorcery spell you play this turn can't be countered by spells or abilities, and you get to draw a card. And lastly, for sorceries is Fireball. X and a red. Costs 1 more to cast for each target that it targets. There is 1 Planeswalker in the deck, and that Planeswalker is Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Really good utility with the +1 to add 2 red mana to your mana pool. Go on to the enchantments next. There are 9 enchantments in the deck, and 2 of them are enchant creatures. So we'll start with Smoke. Each player can only untap 1 creature during their untap phase. It helps out a little bit. Blood Sun. Draw a card when it enters the battlefield, and lands lose all abilities except for mana abilities. So people with Rogue's Passages and Maze of Ith and whatnot. Blood Moon, another favorite card for some people. All non-basic lands become mountains. Furnace of Wrath, that doubles all damage assigned to any creature or player, even at you. Berserker's Onslaught, attacking creatures I control get double strike. Sulfuric Vortex, put a countdown in your game real quick, and it also prevents people from gaining life. Gratuitous Violence, if a creature you control would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage instead. Not too bad. The 2 enchant creatures, enchant auras, are Taste for Mayhem. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0. It also has Hellbent, gets +4/+0 if you have no cards in your hand. And then Eternal Warrior. Attacking does not cause the enchanted creature to tap. It's only a 1-drop. Effectively gives whatever creature vigilance. Onto the creatures. Of the creatures, there's 2 artifact creatures. Lizard Blades and Ironmere. Lizard Blades becomes an equipment, reconfigures into a double strike, but it starts off as a 1/1 double strike creature itself. An Iron Mirror is a 1/1 mana dork. Soldier of Fortune is a 1-drop. You can tap 1 in it for a target player to shuffle their library. If somebody's searching and putting the card on top of their library, you can just step on their plans. Combat Celebrant, extra combats. Firebrand Archer. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Goes pretty well. Obstinate Familiar is a 1/1, and if I'd be forced to draw a card, I can choose to skip that draw instead. It's helped out a lot in games. Slith Firewalker, 1/1 with haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. You can get big if people neglect them. Runaway Steamkin is a decent little mana dork. Whenever you cast a red spell, you can put a +1/+1 counter on him, and then remove 3 +1/+1 counters for 3 red mana. Fortune Thief is a 0/1 creature with Morph for 2. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. So you can conceal it as a morph creature and then pop it up when you need it. Humble Defector draws cards. And lastly, there's Void Winnower, because everybody needs a big stompy thing that alters the rules a little bit. The rest of the deck is artifacts. We're going to start off with the mana rocks. I run a Mox Tantalite, a Soul Ring, a Felwar Stone, a Fire Diamond, Sisay's Ring, and Gilded Lotus, just for the mana rocks. As well, there are Howling Mine, Library of Ling, Caged Sun, Crawl Space, which no more than 2 creatures can attack you each combat, which is pretty good. Glaring Spotlight, which makes your opponent's creatures lose hexproof. And Felden's Cane, which shuffles your library back into your graveyard back into your library. It's about drawing cards, maybe getting extra mana out, and being utilitous. And the rest of the artifacts are equipments. So we'll start off with Dowsing Dagger. Dowsing Dagger, when the equipped creature deals combat damage, it flips into a land that taps for 3 mana of any one color that I believe. Sword of the Animist allows you to fetch basic lands out of your deck. Trusty Machete is just a good, cheap equipment that pumps up pretty quick. Mask of Memory allows you to draw cards. Inquisitor's Flail doubles damage, and doubles all damage dealt to the equipped creature as well. Fire Shrieker gives double strike. Swiftfoot Boots, everybody should know what that does. Golem Skin Gauntlets, equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each equipment attached to it. Some would call Lubu a Voltron deck. Hero's Blade. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield, you can auto-equip the Hero's Blade to it. So Lubu play, it goes right onto him. Sword of War and Peace. A little bit of protection, a little bit of janky stuff. Some fun. There's a Quarter's Shield, another source of vigilance, and it has a little defense boost, which is good because Lubu is only a 4/3. Grafted Exoskeleton. It gives the equipped creature Infect and +2/+2. Not too bad. Mask of Avacyn gives power and toughness bonuses as well as hexproof. Stratascythe. You imprint a mountain into it from your library, and the equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each card with the same name on the battlefield. True Faith Censor gets +1/+1 of vigilance, and if it's a human, which Lubu is, it gets an additional +1/+0. Tenza Godo's Maul, bonuses for being legendary and bonuses for being red. Commander's Plate. Pretty cheap to equip the Commander. +3/+3 and protection from each color that's not in his Commander identity. Next is Grappling Hook, another double strike outlet. Bone Saw, nice cheap equipment. Gold Vein Pick, a nice cheap equipment as well that gives treasure. And then lastly there's Sword of Feast and Famine, which taps all of the opponent's lands and untaps all of your lands when the equipped creature deals combat damage, as well as giving bonuses to power and toughness and protection. And that is what Lu Bu is right now. There's a couple of things that I do want to change out. I will be getting a Wheel of Fortune soon, and that will go in there when I get it. So look forward to the future. Thank you.